Hello, I'm David Duke, and I'm not running for president in 2012, at least not yet. That will completely depend upon you. If I get enough support to run a credible campaign, I will run. If I don't, I will continue to do my writing, academic research and lecturing, and making videos on the critical issues facing America and the world. My videos are having an incredible impact. Actually, as president, I will give you better government than you deserve. Because you have let the media lie to you and manipulate you. And you've let the politicians lie to you. And you've let the government take away your basic American rights. Too many of you have cared more about the ball game than your heritage and your freedom. The media will tell you that you can't trust me because of my past. Well, I think my past is one of the reasons why you should support me, because my past shows that I'm a man who says what he believes, who is willing to be unpopular, to tell what he believes to be the whole truth. I've certainly evolved since my younger days, as did, by the way, Senator Robert Byrd, who was in the same organization I was over 33 years ago. Byrd became one of the fiercest opponents of our catastrophic and anti-American wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, as have I. And the late Robert Byrd is now respected, and thankfully, in many quarters, I'm finally earning some respect as well. So what is my program for president? Here's part of my program, point by point. Number one, America first. Before we can solve our domestic issues that are destroying America's great middle class, we must bring our boys home from these insane foreign wars and concentrate on American issues. We have lost far more Americans dead in Iraq and Afghanistan than we did in the carnage of 9/11. We cannot afford to let Israel or any other nation control our foreign policy. We must put the interests of the American people first. America first. These wars do irreparable harm to us. Our United States Veterans Administration reports that we have over 360,000 traumatic brain injuries from these wars. We have destroyed hundreds of thousands of marriages, wrecked families and careers, and we've practically bankrupted America with incredible costs. Now, if you're one of the people who can't afford health insurance or a trip to the doctor, or if you feel your medical insurance costs are intolerably high, consider the fact that the cost of these wars alone would have enabled decent, low-cost medical care for every single American. These are wars against America and our American way of life, not for America. As president, I would immediately withdraw our troops as quickly as we can safely do so, and I would redeploy our boys along the Mexican-American border. And that brings me to point number two, stop the immigration invasion. The vast majority of Americans finally have become aware that mass immigration is destroying America of our fathers and mothers. Way back in the 1970s, I saw this threat to America, and I warned the nation. Now, no one in political life in America has a stronger or longer record of opposition to mass immigration than do I. I even organized the first citizen patrols of the Mexican-American border back in 1976. Massive illegal and legal immigration is costing American citizens trillions of dollars, bankrupting our healthcare system, bankrupting our welfare system, our educational system, and even our prison system. Millions of American citizens have become victims of illegal alien criminality. We must enforce our laws and enforce our borders. Does it take the loss or suffering of one of your own loved ones for you to wake up? Number three, stop the criminal international banks. We must stop welfare for the rich. I was elected in Louisiana in part by opposing the massive welfare fraud and abuse. I still oppose it and demand a complete reform of the welfare system which penalizes working families. But you know what? The biggest welfare problem is not the welfare for the poor, but the welfare for the rich. And I'm not talking about successful businessmen and women. I'm talking about the international banks like Goldman Sachs and a host of others which have stolen trillions of dollars. Yes, I said trillions The government recently said the real size of the so-called bailouts is well over $20 trillion. Of course, don't forget that these same international bankers like Goldman Sachs literally control our government fiscal policy. Their executives sit over our government agencies. The foxes who are supposed to guard the chicken coop are eating all the chickens. The privately owned Federal Reserve Bank must be abolished and replaced by President Andrew Jackson's proposal of a national bank. How can you stop these crooks when Obama's biggest corporate contributor or president was none other than Goldman Sachs? Now that's change you cannot believe in. Number 4, fair trade, not free trade. Free trade with slave-wage nations is destroying American industry, American business, and American workers' lives. I'm a protectionist. There, I said it. Why is protectionism a bad word according to the globalist-controlled media? As president, I'll protect American companies who want to stay here at home rather than go overseas. And I'll protect American jobs by fair tariffs on products that unfairly compete with American products by American labor. I'll protect American jobs by stopping outsourcing and by stopping the mass insourcing of illegal and legal immigration taking American jobs. For instance, why should American college graduates not be allowed to find a job because low-wage foreigners are brought in to this country? Americans first and America first. Number 5, true equal rights for all, special privilege for none. As president, I will immediately issue an executive order that in every aspect of government and government-awarded contracts, merit will be the sole determinant of selection. The United States government will be prohibited from doing any kind of business with corporations that don't hire, promote, and contract according to merit alone rather than race or gender. This also goes for every educational institution that receives any federal funding. Racial or gender discrimination will stop from the first day that I'm president. It will be replaced by a system based entirely on merit. Number 6, abolish the income tax and the IRS. Americans need freedom from the IRS. I will abolish the income tax and instead put in a replacement VAT of approximately 15%, which studies show will garner about the same revenue. Poor or disabled or fixed-income Americans will receive a VAT credit so as not to be harmed by additional financial burdens. Number 7, reform campaign finance. As I said in my former campaigns, I will not accept a dime of PAC money, and I will work for publicly financed elections and outlaw PACs and special interest contributions. Lobbyist contributions amount to nothing more than bribes for the special interests. It's time to give every candidate time on media, and postal mailings, and sponsor public debates in every election so we can choose our candidates by their ideas and not by how much money they have from the special interests. You know, I'm so sick of these Hollywood-directed campaign commercials. Superman can be made to look like he can really fly, and politicians can be made to look like they aren't crooks. Number 8, I believe in a new vision for America. We must have increased protections for free speech and media access, and I think that's only possible with a breakup of the media conglomerates. I'll create a new entity called the Free Network that will support and freely broadcast creative media, movies, and TV programs that reflect the values of the American people, rather than the weirdos who run Hollywood. We must be brave enough to say that we promote Western values in our media and our country, not the bloodlust, violence, drug and alcohol abuse, and sexual degeneracy promoted by the Hollywood media to our young people. As we did in years past, we must teach our children honor and courage, health and fitness, and a sense of national purpose. For a micro part of the national budget, we must connect every home in America with high-speed internet and continue the process of decentralization of media in America. We must repeal laws against our freedoms, such as the Patriot Act, and allow more freedom of choice in every aspect of American life. We must defend the First and Second and 10th Amendments to the Constitution, and we must work for a constitutional amendment to make federal judges elected rather than appointed, and limit their terms and that of the Supreme Court. You might elect a jackass to a federal judgeship, but at least you won't be stuck with him for a lifetime. We must return power to the people. If you like these points of my platform, you need to let me know. I have an extremely moderate income, and I'm not like these rich politicians who can take a year off to run for president of the United States. And I'm willing to run. I will not run unless I know that when the campaign's over, my work will be intact and progressing. So this is not an announcement for president, but if you want me to run, you must give my organization and I the financial means to survive the rigors and demands of a national campaign. If the support you provide shows that my vital educational work and organizations for America and the world can continue during the campaign, and if it can show that I can raise the funds necessary to qualify for the ballot in the Republican primaries and receive federal matching funds for those primaries, and if necessary, for a third-party run, then I will formally enter the race for President of the United States. And God willing, we will change the course of America, make America once more a beacon of light for Europe and the world. If the support is not adequate to fund and organize a credible race for president, I will continue my work to awaken America and the world. So, what do you say? Will you make possible my run for president of the United States? Will you fund my work to awaken America and the world? It's up to you. I will make the sacrifices required by such a campaign. I'll put myself at risk of life and limb, endure the pummeling of the media, but I can't do it without sacrifices and generosity on your part too. If you wish, I will speak out for you. I will stand up for you, the long, silent, shrinking American majority, and I will speak more honestly in this campaign than any other candidate you've ever heard in your entire life. And with your help, God willing, my voice and your voice will be heard across our land. The choice is yours.